Hello everyone, welcome back to OptimizEvony. Before we get into today's video, I want to have a quick word from our sponsor, Amazon App Store. As I'm sure most of you know, starting August 2025, Amazon App Store and Amazon Coins will be removed from all Android devices, which means that you must use all of your Amazon Coins before August 20th, 2025, so make sure to use them before it's too late. In addition, if you're playing on an Amazon device, Amazon App Store will stay active, and there'll be exclusive offers and special deals just for you. In the coming weeks, there will be a number of big Evony events that have great rewards, so make sure to check those out. Also, if you want to stay connected with the Evony community, don't forget to join our brand new Evony Discord server today. I'll put the link in the description of this video. All right, guys, happy Sunday. I hope All-Stars qualifying is going well for you. Remember that this week is going to be the last week of All-Stars qualifying, so if you're right on the bubble, make sure to push extra hard next BOC to make sure you qualify. Today's video is going to be about spiritual beasts, and I'm going to rank all of the spiritual beasts in terms of their ability on subgens. So debuff spiritual beasts, and that's kind of the main use of spiritual beasts these days. One thing to note is that I am not going to be considering any of the spiritual beast seals or the particular kind of set bonus kind of things here, and that is because those do not matter whether a general is in the battle or not. These are overall. Doesn't matter what general you're using, things like that. So it doesn't affect your play at all. You can do these completely independent of what in what order you upgrade your spiritual beasts. And so one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because one, Evony has launched a bunch of different spiritual beasts. I think there's, I don't know, like maybe like 17 spiritual beasts now. So obviously those are not all going to go on on your subs because nobody has 17 sub slots. And the other thing is they have started to give out more of the crimson crystals for free. Basically, you can get them um, from the weekly Garudas, and then to get the ones to get it to red stars, you can get those once a week. You can get 4 of them once a week for attacking world boss and getting to, I think, 2 million score. And so that essentially means that you'll be able to upgrade a spiritual beast to red roughly every 2.5 weeks. So yeah, but let's get into the actual ranking of the debuffs and which ones to prioritize, particularly for people who don't have as many sub slots. The question gets a little bit harder on which ones do you actually prefer to be on your subgens to actually get those debuffs. So number one, best subgen spiritual beast is Yorander. Probably butchered that. One of the main reasons is he gives siege HP debuff. That is very hard to get, especially for free-to-play players. And so that one is very, very important, 52%. That also applies when you're attacking. So that's great. And then when you're defending, you get an extra enemy range troop attack debuff. And range troop attack debuff is probably I would say, either first or second in terms of debuffs that you need, depending on, kind of your keep size and stuff like that. But I would say it's the most universal debuff that people need, because really, even at any size, people are going to get archer attacked. And so you can see at a completely max level 20, that is 104% extra range troop attack debuff. That is huge. And so the combination of these two stats, and again, the second one only applies when you're defending. The first one also applies when you're attacking with the subs. But yeah, the combination of those two makes this number one. Number two is Haiti. And that's because mostly because he gives a lot of mount troop attack debuff. It used to be that you could pretty easily max out mount troop attack debuff, but with the buffs, the buff ceiling going crazy high, uh, really no one's maxing out unless you're playing. I mean, at like an all stars level, I doubt most people are maxing out debuffs. So range troop or mount troop attack debuff is also a very, very important stat. And you also get ground troop defense here. That's a little bit less important, but I mean it's still nice here. And obviously, as you're upgrading this one, you're gonna get that as well. And one thing I also want to point out here is the last four that they've released, uh, basically from Haiti to this last one, Duneyrr. I probably pronouncing that wrong too. But these ones give extra buffs. So if you look at any of the ones before this, they have basically one debuff slot. The ones these last four, these I don't know, I would call them more like premium spiritual beast ones. They have two debuff ones, one that applies all the time and one that applies when defending. And so that makes these ones a lot more worthwhile. Granted, they are more expensive to get in terms of like the spiritual beast shard kind of things, but they're the same amount to upgrade. So that's kind of why these four are going to factor pretty prominently in the ordering. Um, but that being said, number three is not going to be one of these four. Number three, I'm going to go back to one of the earlier ones. That is Siren. So again, Siren has range troop attack debuff, and that's super super important. Again, for pretty much all people. So upgrading this one is going to be a priority. Of course, you see that it's only 52, not 104, because it's not one of the premium ones, but still, range troop attack is so important that warrants it to be number three. All right, now we're going to go back to, of course, the new ones. Otto, you can see this one I haven't I haven't maxed all the way out. I don't have enough of the spiritual beast XP yet. That's one thing that's happening with the more availability of the crimson crystals is I'm running out of the XP because it used to be I would upgrade one of them maybe every couple months, but now it's like I'm upgrading a couple of them every couple weeks. So but yeah, so Otto is ranked number four, and so he has Siege Machine Defense debuff. You can't get that in a lot of places, which is why that one's ranked pretty highly. But then mostly the reason why he's so high is defending enemy mount troop HP debuff, and that again goes up to 104. Mount Troop HP debuff is also one of those important stats for mounts. So mounts you primarily want to when you're defending against mounts you want to of course debuff attack primarily, but then HP as well because they have high stats and so you want to kind of knock that down. And I think because a lot of people buff up their mounts for bosses and world boss and all that kind of stuff. Mount tends to be one of the stronger troop types because of that. Everyone's kind of working on it all the time, outside of PvP as well. So that's number four. Number five, as you might have guessed, is Duneyrr, which gives enemy mount troop HP again on both sides. So this will help out when you're attacking as well. And then enemy ground troop HP when you're defending. This, of course, as you upgrade it, it'll go all the way up to 104. So again, the double debuff is huge here, and mount troop HP is pretty important. Ground troop HP, when you're getting when you're getting down to the point where you're getting attacked with ground, or if you're a T1 trap, this one can become a lot more useful as well. If you're a bigger player, you're probably not going to get attacked with ground until really it's not going to make too much of a difference because you're pretty much down to your archers and siege left, or mostly probably your archers, depending on how strong the enemy is. So that's number five. Number six, we're now out of these premium spiritual beasts. So let's go back to the normal ones. Number six is going to be the Nine-Tailed Fox, again, because of Mount Troop HP debuff. And again, this applies on both sides. So one of the reasons why Mount Troop HP debuff is so important is because if you are soloing with your subs, which means you're not in a rally, you're solo attacking. Uh, you can get additional Mount Troop HP debuff to make those archer hits go a little bit better. That's becoming a little bit less important these days because people's in rally buffs are so much higher that it's almost better to solo with a rally, like even if you're the only person in that rally, than just soloing with subs because the debuff isn't really making as much of a difference I've found than like the upgraded stats. Like I think if I remember correctly, my range attack difference between in rally and soloing is like it's like 500% or something like that. It's crazy. It's crazy high. Granted, some of that is because my blazons are partially at least tuned for in rally range attack. So those give additional buffs in those cases. But yeah, just a quick aside there. So seven. So now we're kind of down to the ones. Though those six are, I would say, for sure locked in. Those are the top six, pretty much regardless of your keep build. These ones after this can be interchanged based on kind of what your needs are, what you're getting attacked with, and stuff like that. So number seven, I have Chimera, which has enemy siege machine defense. Again, hard to get siege machine defense debuff, and particularly for me, I'm a little bit bigger keep, and so siege, I'm getting attacked with siege kind of right off the bat, and so that's important for me. Obviously, you can see this hasn't been a priority for me to upgrade quite yet, but at some point I probably will. One thing to point out as well, I know we're not talking about spiritual beast in this one, but Chimera is the best spiritual beast in terms of the seals, um, because it scales better as it goes down. I'll talk about that in a different video when I go through like ranking the different seals and kind of what to focus on there. But just wanted to call that out there as well. Uh, the next one that I have ranked is Thunderbolt, which is ground troop defense. There's less ground troop defense debuff that you can get for in like the free gear that I've found, and so this is one of the things that I've kind of prioritized a little bit here. It's not super important. Obviously we're at 8 now, so I expect as they release newer, these upgraded premium spiritual beasts that some of these on kind of the lower end are going to fall out. But as of right now, this is where I have this. I have Thunderbolt ranked at 8 because of the ground troop defense. Number 9, I have Kong because he has Mount Troop defense debuff. Uh, again, uh, I think there you can get some of it, some Mount Troop defense debuff in gear and stuff like that, but it's not as prevalent. So I rank this a little bit higher because of that. Otherwise, not not too much reason for that. The other thing, I guess, the other thing I would say is that I think it's a little bit more important to debuff mount than ground, based on my keep size. Like again, by the time I'm getting attacked with ground, it's typically like if I don't have any ground or mounts left, it's gonna look pretty ugly, regardless of how much debuff I have. I'm sure at some point it would make a difference, but it makes so much more difference getting getting to there a few hits later rather than being able to tank maybe one ground hit. Um, but that's just my opinion there. So number 10, we are going to Chiron. And Chiron has ground troop attack debuff. So for T1 traps, this one might jump up a little bit higher. The reason why I don't have this quite as high is ground troop attack. The base ground troop attack is pretty low, and so debuffing it is a little bit less important. Granted, with people's massive ground marches these days, it is important to debuff ground troop attack. Um, but again, by the time I'm down to getting grounded, it's pretty low in the priority list, because another 20%, or even if I level this up and it goes to I think 52, it's not really going to make that much of a difference. And you can typically pick up some of those debuffs in other places. So yeah, not super high priority for me, but still on a general. So you can see that it's still attached to a general. It still is in my sub, for now at least. So then for um, for number 11, and I will actually do this as a combo. Number 11 and 12 are both Nandi and Pegasus, because they both have ground troop HP debuff. Um, I would say, in terms of like for subs, I would say maybe I would do Nandi ahead of Pegasus, because Pegasus has a tiny bit of utility outside of there, because it has march size capacity as one of the skills. So you can see he's on one of my bossing generals just for that a little bit more march size capacity. But they have the same debuff, so they're kind of ranked at the same level. And yeah, ground troop defense or ground troop HP is actually super important. It's just a little bit easier to get more of it from the gear and stuff like that, which is why I ranked it a little bit lower in these rankings. But if you're primarily getting hit with ground, this might jump up a little bit higher in the rankings over maybe something like siege defense, or yeah, mount troop defense debuff. And so if you've been following along with this, that makes the last one Burning Godzilla, enemy range troop defense debuff. Not super super important. It's again a pretty low stat for range troop base stats. Obviously it's good to have it, but I mean, with so many of these debuff generals, I don't personally prioritize it on one of my generals. And so I would rather all the other debuffs are a little bit higher than range troop defense for me, personally. But yeah, that's my rankings for the currently. I mean, currently, as to the latest spiritual beast, Duneyrr. I'm sure they'll launch a new one in a month, and then it'll completely change. Likely it'll just go somewhere in the top like six. But yeah, as of right now, those are my top rankings. Let me know what you think, if you would switch up any of these rankings. Again, some of it depends on your keep build and what you're getting attacked with. But I do think that the top six are pretty locked in for everyone. Everyone should be prioritizing those, because they just have better buffs than a lot of the other ones. So yeah, thanks for watching. As always, please do remember to like and subscribe. And also let me know if you have any other video ideas that you want to see. Things like this that this essentially came from you guys, the viewers, and my alliance, particularly as they've launched more and more of these spiritual beasts. People are confused as to which ones are important to actually leave in subs and which ones you can move out. But yeah, uh, thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next video.